This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, I'm Meteo Mundo Chief Meteorologist Rusty McCraney, and this is your tropics update for Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. Still several areas of interest here across the Caribbean and portions of the Atlantic. We do have Harold, which has moved far enough inland into North Mexico. It's really beginning to dissipate. Two areas of interest that'll be moving into the central Atlantic, but neither of these look to be impacting any land. That would be great news. We'll call them fish storms for now. But the biggest one is going to be Franklin. Franklin right now is a tropical storm. Winds have diminished to 40 miles an hour. But the big story from Franklin over the last 24 hours or so is all of the significant rain it has brought, especially to the Dominican Republic. You can see on this enhanced satellite imagery, it's fairly unorganized as the center is over land right now, but it's also brought 6 to 12 inches of rain across portions of the Dominican Republic and maybe even locally higher amounts. Not as significant rainfall, thankfully, for Haiti, including Port-au-Prince, and we have not seen tropical storm conditions in Puerto Rico, although the western side of the island, right along the west coast, including places like Rincon, they've at least had some gusty winds and some rain, but no tropical storm conditions out of Franklin for Puerto Rico. So here is the forecast track for the Hurricane Center. Once Franklin emerges north of Hispaniola, we have tropical storm warnings that are still up for Hispaniola, but the Turks and Caicos as well. But then as it pulls away from the Turks and Caicos, look how it's forecast to strengthen. By the end of this forecast cone on Monday, the Hurricane Center has Franklin as a Category 2 hurricane with winds of 105 miles an hour. And a close enough approach to Bermuda, we're going to have to monitor it. The models do mainly take Franklin west of Bermuda, but a close enough shave where we'll have to see what impacts Franklin could bring to Bermuda early next week. This is the GFS model, and you can see that Franklin, once it moves away from the Turks and Caicos, really ramps up far enough east of the Bahamas where we're looking good. It's going to kick up the sea conditions, and then you can see how it really spins up. Bermuda is right there. So again, early next week, as Franklin begins to intensify, we'll just have to see how close of approach it'll take to that island. Now, speaking of the Bahamas, this is our significant wave height model. You can see that's Franklin's influence right there. It's going to kick up the sea conditions mainly on the eastern sides of the island. So for places like Eleuthera and Abaco, and then the northern sides of Grand Bahama, that's where we would have to watch out for some rougher sea conditions Friday, Saturday. So places like Elbow Key, Great Sail Key, on over towards Walker Key there north of Grand Bahama. That's where we're really going to see the seas get kicked up. South and the western sides of the islands, including Freeport and Settlement Point, Nassau even looking pretty good. So again, the forecast marine-wise is looking okay the next couple of days in Grand Bahama. Seas are still running around 2 to 3 feet for today. We do have some gusty northeast winds. Those winds and seas will relax for your Thursday. Seas for tomorrow, just 1 to 2 feet. But it's going to be hot. Just a 10 to 20% chance for an isolated storm. 89 the daytime high for today for places like Freeport and Lucaya. But the feels like temperature all the way up to 102. That's pretty rough in the afternoon hours. On the 5-day forecast, again, there's no real big chance for any rain, just mainly isolated storms right on through the weekend. But again, on the eastern and northern sides of the islands there in the northwest Bahamas, would again expect the sea conditions to get kicked up as Franklin makes a closer approach. For San Juan, again, we never saw tropical storm conditions, and it's actually been relatively dry. We'll still see breezy conditions throughout the remainder of your Wednesday. Storm chances relatively low Thursday and Friday, but then the storm chances will ramp back up on Saturday and Sunday. Have a great day, friends, and remember, if you want the latest forecast for the tropics across the Caribbean, including the Bahamas, all you have to do is like and subscribe right here. We're Meteo Mundo.